Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Drivers Room Endurance Championship or Acelith Design Endurance Championship. This is Dragon Trail Seaside in the GR4 machines, Season 5, Round 4, Tier 1. Alright, let's get down to the grid walk and see where the drivers place today. We have Smithy in P1, Plugs the Duck, Flapjack. We have Juggernaut, Drift King Alex, Martin B, DJ Rice in the shopping cart, Gadget 334, Muller in the shopping cart, Mr. Sean in the shopping cart. We have Purple Spice in the American, Senna, and Are You Ready, Ben? Alright, let's get down to the track and see where the drivers end up in today's amazing race with the Chicken of Death. Alright, we are at the grid waiting for the green lights. See if everyone can get through this start very clean. A poor start from Smithy in the Dodge Viper. And shoddy camera work. As we see, Plux and Flapjack just barreling, getting the best start of their lives and just leaving Smithy down in third. He's lost three positions already, and it feels like I'm lisping. I'm not. As we see Smith trying to hold off the Drift King and Juggernaut. And Plux might have this in the ballpark again. Who is going to be able to stop the Spice Captain Plux? And I forgot to say something in the grid walk. Plux the quack quack duck. There we go. My OCD is cleared off as we see Flapjack chasing down Plux. Can he make a move into this corner? As we see Smithy coming close to Flapjack now. Flapjack lost a lot of ground down to Plux because of that bad entry. As we see everyone progressing through the chicken where there can be lots of death, but none today. As we see Ben has gotten himself up into 12. Going back with Plux as we see Smithy just under braking and locking up his front tires. Putting Flapjack right alongside him, about to possibly take back second place. Smithy holds it. The might of the Viper and the V10 truck engine. Though the Viper is quite heavy and does use a lot of its front tire wear. Let's see if he can catch up to Plux. As we go down the field to check on the rest of the drivers, as we see Juggernaut and Alex in 4th and 5th. Gadget in 6th. We have Ricey in 7th and Martin in 8th. Martin is struggling a bit in Tier 1, I believe. As we see Purple Spice coming through ahead of Muller in the shopping cart. Senna in 11th. And Sean has dropped down all the way to 12. The shopping carts are, as we know, not the greatest starters off the line. That is their biggest Achilles heel. But they are great fun to drive if you can manage their front tire wear. The front-wheel drive cars are possibly the strongest in the GR4 class. As we see, a gap is developing as we see Smithy going on the inside of Plux into the final corner. Will he come out on top? that was a ballsy move as I've ever seen it, and that puts Smithy up into first, but we see Plux. He's right on Smithy's gearbox. Will Smithy be able to hold off the champion as the champion goes into P1 again, into turn 2, technically turn 1. This is going to be a massive fight between these two unless damage occurs. Let's hope not for their sakes. And of course the Viper is my favorite car in the world. So it's beautiful to see that the Nitro Master is using this car. As we see Flapjack, he has lost a little bit of ground down up to Plux and Smith. We will follow this fight a little bit longer, as I think a move will develop. As we see Plux going very defensive. Smithy looking for an opening, looking for a gap, just the slightest error from Plux and he'll be ahead as we see them going into the chicken and no one dies. As we see also Juggernaut in the Viper, I forgot that. And Ben has lost his position up to Shawnee. Shawnee's up to all the way up to 10. Nice drive from Shawnee. As we see Smithy again on the side of Plux. I think Plux just has that little extra edge of acceleration than the Viper. The Viper is quite heavy. As we see Smithy going on the inside of Plux into turn 1. Going into turn 2 now into the S's or chicane. Plux is still ahead. Plux is probably thinking to himself, God damn it, give me some breathing room. Rats! Got to have some bullying into the videos as well. Rats. As we see, the gap is opening a tiny bit between those two. And we see Juggernaut coming closer and closer to Flapjack. Alex is also closing in on the American car. We see Ricey just sticking in Alex's slipstream. The front wheel drive cars do understeer a little bit in the corners. As we go back to Plux and Smithy. Plux is just having he just has a very big train behind him as we see, oh my goodness. Look, 4th lap and Smithy's tires are dead. They are gone. What is he doing to them? Is he applying napalm or something to the tires? He's just ruining the front end. I do hope he's not using front end brake bias. As we see Flapjack on the move. Smithy going defensive and Flapjack goes back into his original position. Let's follow from the rear camera of Smithy. Don't think Flapjack has a chance in this section, this sector. Flapjack gets a little bit of speed out of that corner though. No way through in these hard S's. Let's see if he can make a move on Smithy. No. Just shows himself in Smithy's mirrors. Still here. Aching to get through as we see Gadget in 6th. A little bit of a gap between 5th and 7th. see Martin ahead of Ricey now. Ricey must have had an incident as he has damage on his front. He must have clipped the chicane in the previous lap. As we see Berkey going on the move of Ricey. This is horrible for Ricey now. As we see Sean also catching up, and the front tire wear of the shopping cart is showing. As we see DJ going into the pits. And we have Muller and Ben. Ben still hasn't gotten any damage as yet. As we see Senna is struggling a little bit, and Senna's going for a move on Ben into turn 1. Ben will have the inside into turn 2, but Senna is already ahead. Wow! Senna's showing his cojones at this time, and they are large. Ricey in last. As we see Plux and Smithy. Smithy has caught up to Plux yet again and is about to try and make a move on him. But I think those tires are too dead to do anything at this time. Just look at his front left now. Versus Plux. Just losing in the corners. He can't put the grip down as Plux is. Plux will probably be able to do 4, maybe 5 more laps. I'm thinking Smithy will be able to do... No! He hits the wall after the chicane. He didn't die in the chicane itself, but during the exit. This is horrible. Smith might lose this completely now. Smith staying out for one more. No, diving into the pits. Opening the door for Flapjack, Alex, Martin, Gadget. As we see Juggernaut as well into the pits. His tires doesn't look that bad, but yeah. As we see Ben coming out. And is behind. No, he is ahead of Juggernaut and Smithy. Let's hope Smithy has enough patience to get around cleanly. As we see Ben, he has barely any tire wear left. There's not much tire wear on the trophy. As we see, Smithy is already up into 8th ahead of Juggernaut. Quite long pit stops on this track. As we see Smithy going for a move already on Ben. Will Ben be aware? Smithy going on the outside, staying behind in the SS. There he goes. The power of the Viper just trumps the trophy every single day. Trophy is good in the corners, but that's about the most positive thing I can say for it, and it does look hella sexy. If it only had more power. As we see Ricey in 10th after his damage and probably exit of the chicane damage. Getting through there cleanly. Berkey has also been into the pits, same as Muller. Senna has also been in, but probably lost a hell of a lot of time from his pit. As we see Flapjack and Sean going into the pits. Coming up with the leader of the race, and the tire wear is looking actually quite good on Plux's NSX. The Quack Lord is doing good, defending his position from 3rd qualifying. No, second. So he's gained 1 position. As we see Awesome Alex in 2nd now, chasing down his M4R Jesus or Captain, however you put it. We see Gadget in the McLaren 650 with Martin right behind in the NSX. The NSX does struggle a little bit in the top speed phases. As I've said before, me and Plux had a very beautiful, great race at Fuji a couple of seasons back, where he just couldn't shake me in his NSX, and I was in the McLaren. So very evenly matched, but the McLaren, I think, has a bit more top speed. As we see Smithy in 5th, he's gotten ahead of Flapjack after his pit. We see Jaggernaut in 7th. And Ben is driving into the pits as we see Ricey, Berkey, and Muller, and we have Alex down into 5th now from his pit. Martin has also been in, so they've dropped a few positions. As we see Berkey just trying to find a way around slow Martin as he comes out of the pits. As we see now Muller right behind Martin. Can his shopping cart? No. What about... Oh, Gadget is in 1st. Plux has been into the pits. He is behind Smithy. Smithy's also already starting to develop some tire wear on his front yet again. He has the fastest lap of 144.8. Very fast time trialer, Smithy. But his race pace is not to be messed with either. As we see Plux actually losing time on the pit stop, but gaining a hell of a lot right now. Let's see where Gadget ends up after he goes into the pits. He might stay out for a few more laps. As we know, Gadget is the tire wear master in the Thursdays, as Gadget stays out for one more lap. Gadget is the tire wear master. He manages to find a way to make those massively suffering tires last a lot longer than they really should. And Smithy and Plux is both catching up to Gadget on worn tires. I think maybe Gadget should consider going into the pits very shortly to get those puppies changed. As we see Jaggernaut chasing Flapjack, can he make enough distance to him to start fighting, making it easier for Alex to catch up and possibly take advantage and gain 2 positions in one go. Berkey Baby is just trying to get into Drift King's Slippy. The M4R boys dominating quite well in Tier 1. Muller and his crew chief, race engineer Marcus in 8th. Mr. Sean in 9th. Senna in 10th, so his pit stop has gotten him up into 10th, at least top 10. Martin has fallen down to 11th. He must have had a spin because he was higher up after he pitted. Now he's fighting with Ben. Martin is possibly not having the best season of his life. As we see Gadget going into the pits, dropping down positions now. Where's he? Gadget comes out in 7th, losing 7th, down to 8th, behind the shopping trolley. But if he can make those longer stints last, he could end up gaining positions instead of losing them. Senna having a difficult day in the, well, trophy-like slow Toyota, but extremely good handling car. Martin there, we have Ben, and Ricey's not doing good after his impact with the chicane wall. Probably, by the looks of it, he hit the right side. Coming back to Smithy and Plux, as we see Plux chasing down the nitro-fueled man. Going on board with Plux as we take a drink. Plux taking a deeper line into the last corner. He's right up Smithy's back alley. Just a few more inches, feet, whatever, meters, half meter. And he'll be right up Smithy's exhaust pipe. There we go, as he almost makes a move into turn 2 and turn 3. Almost was right up the ass there, Plux. Good brakes too from Plux. They managed to hold off any accidents or crashes. But we do see Smithy's tires, they are dead. He did go in 2-3 laps before Plux. Just look how Plux is all over the rear end of Smithy. Smithy's just struggling to find that little inch of grip he needs. The few pixels he needs of grip, they just aren't there. He goes defensive into this corner. Oh, and Plux goes on the outside and is ahead right before the chicken. Smithy might have to go in and change those tires. Sadly, the Viper is quite brutal on its front tires, seeing as that big V10 is putting a lot of pressure on those suffering fronts. Plux is running away with it, as he always is. I wonder if anyone is able to dethrone Plux in the future. Hint, hint. Blink, blink. Wink, wink. As we see Flapjack ahead of Juggernaut. Juggernaut ahead of Alex. We got a three-way sandwich here. If Alex can get a little bit closer, as we see Alex's tires is very good, and Juggernaut's tires are starting to suffer just as Smithy. But then again, I think Juggernaut is on a wheel, so his tire wear suffers a little bit less, just a tiny bit less than Smithy. I do love that Viper and that sound. Beautiful. As we go down the field, seeing Muller in a fight with Gadget. Gadget is now in 7th. I think Gadget is trying to get ahead of Muller, but the problem is Muller has insane speed down the straight. But the handling capabilities of the McLaren is a lot better than the front-wheel drive Megane, as we see Gadget going back up into 6th. In the beautiful black and yellow Sigma. And Muller is suffering a little bit tire wear now. So we see Smith going into the pits, very predictable, seeing as those tires were Dead Juggernaut also goes into the pits. Where is Smith coming out? Smith is already behind Alex and Flapjack. He comes back out in 4th, right ahead of Gadget. This is going to be dangerous because Gadget is just on a few lap old tires, and the McLaren should be a lot better through all sectors of this track than the Viper. But then again, there is Smithy behind the wheel of that mighty American muscle car, so he might be able to pull away from Gadget. But by the end, when Gadget's tires goes out, Smithy will probably have pitted yet again. As we go down to Juggernaut, he's also been into the pits. The fronts suffer badly on the Viper. Martin in 8th. We have Muller ahead of Senna. Senna, wow. I thought that Toyota was a little bit nicer to its tires, but it doesn't look like it. Maybe Senna has his brake bias in the front, when it should really be at the back in on this track. Ben, his tires are looking decent, super soft, and the trophy is overall just very generous to its tires. Ricey in 12th, as we see Berkey is all the way down in 13th. He must have had an incident somewhere. Oh, as he narrowly avoids the chicken exit. Mr. Sean going into the pits. SPC Plux just all alone and not having any fun at all anymore. He just should slow down and play a little around with Alex. Maybe Alex can gently punt him into the wall, but I think the M4R crew would probably crucify him from doing that. Alex is in 2nd and doing everything he can now to catch up to his M4R guru. And we see Smithy is back into 3rd. Don't know who he passed. It could have been Sean. We still have everyone on track. Yeah, someone must have had an incident. Oh yeah, Flapjack. He went into the pits. Of course he did. So Flapjack down in 6th. I've heard that the Ferrari is quite nasty on its tires. I believe it's the rear tires that go first on the GR4, but the GR3 monster that me and Mangino have burned and are still keeping the flame alive, and the carcass is just burning until there's nothing left. That is a lot worse than the GR4 variant, for sure. After the DRFS a couple of seasons ago, me and Monk swore an oath to just keep those carcasses burning for as long as possible. And yeah, sadly, Ferrari, you're not getting those cars back. Muller in 8th. Muller is also the person, me and Muller, we started off in the shopping trolleys or shopping carts, as Gadget so namely prompt them. We started off at the same time in season 1 and 2 with the front-wheel drive cars. It was a gamble. It was known beforehand that the front-wheel drive cars are quite heavy on their tires, and not a lot of people did pick them because of its tire wear. But as we see, Muller has had some good races and some very bad races in the front-wheel drive. The front-wheel drive cars are very track dependent, and on a track like this it is very difficult to find a good pace because the car's understeers quite heavy. But the speed of these things, the top speed and the acceleration, are just mental. And I praise Muller for staying with the Megane all the way from Season 1 into Season 5. Maybe he'll change for Season 6, we'll never know. Going down the field, looking like there's a big gap forming between all the racers now. Oh, as we see Senna almost crashing into the wall. Just looks so damn fast when they go through there. Berkey in 12th. We have Ricey all the way down into 13th. Gotta be a boring race for the Rice man and Rizla man. Smithy now in P1 after Plux's pit, and we see Alex's tires. They're starting to go off, but he is able to keep up with Smith. And Smith, it looks like he's got a grip on those tires. It's been 4 laps now since he was into the pits, and the tires aren't looking that bad, to be honest with you. The rear tires almost have no wear on them at all. The fronts just barely starting. As we see, Alex has a little bit more even tire wear, but that's because no, they're not four-wheel drive. That's right. I thought they were four-wheel drive, but they're not. Wow, as he just skims that wall in the exit. We see the Quackmaster coming up behind his Squire. Gadget is ahead of Juggernaut. Tires are looking decent. Curious to what brake bias Gadget is using for his Mackie. I think I'm using 3 to the back, between 1 and 3 in my vehicle. Juggernaut is falling off a little bit behind now. His fronts are starting to go. We see Flapjack in 5th trying to catch up to the rest, and we see the fronts starting to go a little bit in Flapjack's car as well. Alex has been into the pits. He's dropped down to 6th. All right, coming up on lap 30, 52 minutes driven, 8 to go. We have Gadget in 4th, Smithy in 1st. So obviously his pit stops are working to his advantage. As we see Alex in 2nd, Plux in 3rd. What the hell has happened to Plux? Has he botched his Oh, I see some damage on the right side. He's been into the chicane. He has smashed into the chicane. That's why Plux is so far behind. He must be kicking himself right now. And it looks like Alex has been into the chicane as well. Scratches on his car as we see the pristine, beautiful black and yellow Sigma of Gadget. Still hasn't been into the wall, so let's not jinx him any further by going back to Juggernaut and seeing that he is doing well in 5th. Flapjack in 6th. Martin in 7th. Shawnee in 8th, the fastest front-wheel drive on the track as of this moment. We see Ricey, Senna, Berkey, and we've lost Muller. Oh yeah, yep, I remember this. I have been told that Muller and Ben have had wheel-related technical issues. So that means that they've gone into the wall with their wheels not even working or giving an input at all. So I remember this quite well. They both had the same problem. Muller said that his wheel stopped working, and 10 seconds later, the same issue apparently happened for Ben with the T300 Thrustmaster or whatever it was, overheating. Or maybe it was something else. Cables disconnected. Maybe a little rabbit called Theodore in both their homes, just chewing over the little wires. Probably not. Giving Craig's rabbit a little love there. As we see Smithy's, oh wow, just scratching the wall. You see Alex. Slowly catching in on Smith. I don't think Smith needs another pit. Let's hope he can hold off Alex. As we see Plugs trying desperately now to claw himself back up into P2, possibly P3, hoping that the two in front just crashes and burns. As we see Gadget just kept his head clean, calm, collected. Let's hope he can manage those tires for another 4 minutes. As you see Jignaut in 5th with Flapjack in 6th. Martin out. Martin is looking low on fuel. With Ricey in 9th. Fuel is starting to look critical. Let's hope it holds until the end. Senna. Look at Senna's front left. He's been taking a beating. As we see Berkey with some damage on his right side. He must have hit the chicane somewhere, but he's way in the back. Maybe he can just try and hold this out for the last 2 minutes of the race. Let's hope it doesn't affect him too much. As he goes for another lap. As we see Smithy desperate for some fuel, probably fuel saving like crazy. Please let this race be over. That's probably what he's yelling right now. Started off bad, got some damage. Ultimately ended up back in 1st. Just pushing the car to its limits, as we see Alex doing exactly the same, pushing the car to its absolute limits. Plugs driving his absolute heart out to try and catch up to his little M4R member. Gadget probably fuel saving a little bit too. Oh, he's fuel saving a lot. Shifting gears way earlier than he really needs to. As we see Juggernaut under heavy pressure from Flapjack. They both are very low on fuel. Flapjack has a little bit better tires. Going on board with the Flappy Jack. Oh, he goes deep. Luckily, the tires didn't spin. Oh my goodness, his fuel is just a sliver left. 0.3 maybe, 0.5. As he goes on the outside and camera is not... Oh, as we see Juggernaut just going off to the marbles and Flapjack is given this. We see Sean and Martin in the back. Will they be able to overtake Juggernaut? Such an unlucky move. Understeered right into the gravel. Oh, does he have enough power? Mr. Sean has better tires, but they're all low on fuel. Juggernaut looks like he has this covered. Oh my gosh, look at that fuel. Smith and Alex and Plux has finished the race. As we see Gadget going over the line right now. With Flapjack in tow, Juggernaut, we have Sean and Martin. Thank you all for watching. Come back next time. As we see Ben. Well, thanks everyone for watching, and come back next time for round number 5.